When we met, I believe it was 7th grade. I believe you were in 7th grade. You went to Memorial. Was it Memorial? You went to Memorial, and we met in 7th grade over at the Summit at one time, and you started doing some training. It wasn't a lot, but it was like every now and then we would do like private instructions, and at that time you were training for receiver, and then obviously you play safety now, so that's a whole story within itself. But you started in 7th grade, so kind of just, going to that point, when I would hear about people talk about you, they were, man, this is the best dude to ever play in Metro. And you hear that story every single year. Like, every year there's a player who's the best player to ever play in Metro. And then you have some early success. So if you take away middle school, you went to high school, early success, playing for Northside, and you got your first offer as a freshman. Talk to us a little bit about not just so much middle school, but that transition from middle school to high school, playing as a freshman, and then being able to be afforded the opportunity to do what you did. Because I think it was what game was it? Was it DeWanger? What game? It was a game that you kind of just took off and everybody was like,
yeah, it was DeWanger.
Yeah, and everybody had this, it was almost like next one type of deal. Like, this dude is the next one for sure. Talk to us about your freshman year and how that propelled you and how did you handle that? Because that was early success in high school.
To be honest, I was really excited for my freshman year because, like, I was just excited for the situation I was going to. Like, I was so ready to get to high school because I felt like middle school was like too easy for me. Northside was it was struggling at the time, and I was just ready because I see my brother go there and have success. He didn't play football, but he played basketball. So I knew I wanted to continue like my brother's legacy on the field and on the court. And as far as going into the year, I know like I trained as much as I could. As far as like when COVID hit, I remember we was in the house. Like, we in the house with my dad, lifting weights, running around the neighborhood. We couldn't really go to the Y. So like, it was just getting me ready for my freshman year. And when freshman year did come, I really just wanted to prove to everybody like who I was. Like, I ain't wanted to be like, oh, it's high school now, like none of that stuff gonna work. I wanted to prove to everybody that I could play with anybody. I just went out and I just did what I did.
Yeah.
Like, it felt normal in a sense. It felt normal because I scored a touchdown my first ever game of high school. And once I did that, it was really like, okay, I might be able to do something. Like, and I was hearing a lot of stuff like, you might be the best freshman from Northside ever, or you might be the best freshman in the SAC ever. And I really wasn't worried about that. I was just worried about, I was a team guy. Yeah. So it was really to a point to where I was like, I just want my team to win. Like, I just want Northside community to win. And my success really came from that. Yeah. Like, it was really driven off of, I want my community to win. I want my brothers with me to win. And I feel like my individual success came from that.
Yeah. Let's take a stoppage real quick and let's talk about your older brother. Because I think, to your point, when you say you want to continue his legacy, talk to the people about who your brother was. He was obviously pretty good in basketball, went on to the next level and played basketball. Obviously, with you being the talent that you are, I don't think people realize how talented your older brother was. I don't think people realize how talented Brayvon and Baz was. Like, I don't think I think they see you now and they sometimes forget like who you was actually growing up with. So talk about your brother's legacy. And
so my brother, my oldest brother, Brandon Johnson, he went to Northside, I think 2014 to 2018. And he played football. Like, he went through the same route I did, Metro. He went to Weiser Park, Memorial Park. Then he went to Northside, and he actually started as a freshman on Northside basketball team. And he was a 4-year starter. And I just seen like him, I was probably still in elementary when he was in high school. But I just remember like going to their games every Friday, like my dad picking me up from school. We would go to the Y, work out. I just remember getting ready to go to their games. And like, that was really the highlight of my week. Like, I couldn't wait for Friday because I was ready to go to the Northside game to watch my older brother. And he was a 4-year starter. And they won like the holiday tournament every year he was there. And they won sectionals every year he was there. They went to state his junior year. So it was really just a lot of success that I seen like from him being in high school at Northside, and I was there. Like I was able to be a part of it. I felt like I was at every game, and that's what I wanted for myself. Like I knew since his freshman year, I want to go to Northside, and I want to do exactly what my brother doing right now. I want to start as a freshman, and I want to go to state. I want to win a state championship, and that's not how it turned out, but that's what I wanted to do. Like my brother really motivated me to do that, and I wasn't able to be around him like every day because he was in high school and stuff. So we kind of had two different schedules. But I seen his success at Northside early, and that kind of gave me the idea of what I wanted to do.
Let's skip to Bass and Brayvon, because I know the first time I seen Brayvon play, it was like this little skinny little noodle dude who was playing, but super competitive, super technical, and just will fight and compete. And then they're twins, and then Bass was this big old dude. What did you learn from those two brothers, and just watching them, and then coming under them or after them? What did you learn from those two?
Most of everything I've learned as far as his life, sports, whatever it is, I would say is credit to them too, because they only 1 year older than me. So like, even as far as like when we was in middle school and I'm going to the 7th grade and they going to the 8th grade, and like we get our class schedule and they like, oh, you got Miss such and such. Oh yeah, all you got to do in there is just do this and you good. So that's kind of like how our relationship was. And as far as like what I took from both of them, Brayvon, he really just showed me like that heart mattered. Like you gotta have heart, because he was always little, skinny. Like people used to think he was the youngest brother, and I was the youngest, but he was smaller than me and Brayshawn. But he always had heart. He wasn't scared of anything, and that's one thing that I learned from him. And Brayshawn really just, if some people see Bass, he kind of misunderstood. So
He completely misunderstood.
yeah, so he really just taught me, like, cause I'm kind of a humble person, quiet person, like I don't talk too much trash. But Brayshawn really just showed me like when it's time to like speak up or time to really just to show out, like you gotta know when to do it. So I said like I kind of took his attitude and kind of instilled it in me in a way that it like I perfected it basically. So like I could still get rah-rah, but it's gonna be in a better situation. Like it's gonna be when it needs to happen.
Growing through and going through high school, you're a receiver, you're a defensive player. Talk to us about just like the whole totality of you having to play multiple positions. And obviously at one point you were a heavy receiver, and then back in you became a more of a safety prospect to some schools, specifically Notre Dame. But then talk to you, how did you balance that? And then how did you balance basketball? Because I don't think, in basketball you were pretty good as well. So you could have had a chance to play basketball at the next level. So what was that thought process on just balancing being good at so many different things that you were performing at?
My thought process was to be the best at both, because I always was good at both my whole life. So like my thought process was really to just be the best I can at basketball and football. And as far as playing wide receiver and DB, like I knew I could play both. I always wanted to play wide receiver. Like that's what I wanted to play. And that's why I trained that majority of my high school career. And that was the position I loved, because I fell in love with scoring touchdowns. And it really just, I'd say like playing receiver, it kind of made me realize like how good of a defensive back I could be.
Yeah.
So like as far as like my going into like my junior year and senior year, I kind of started, I took it serious a little bit, but not as much as I should. And I kind of still, I wanted to play receiver still. Like that was the main thing. I wanted to play receiver. I wanted to score touchdowns. And it really was just like, whatever I do play, I'm going to be the best at it. And that's how it really translated to the basketball side too, because like after football season, it was straight to basketball. And then like when basketball was over, it was straight to football. So it really wasn't like, it wasn't no breaks, but I was used to it because that's what I did my whole life. So it was really, I was just trying to become the best at both.
run down your stats in high school in basketball per year. Like I don't care about all the rebound, all that stuff. What was the point? Because obviously you was a scorer. So
freshman year I averaged 17. Sophomore year I averaged 18. I only played 10 games. Junior year I averaged 20, and then my senior year I didn't play.